The Red Bull Grand Prix of the Americas saw in total 44 crashes across the entire weekend, with the most 17 coming in Moto2 and MotoGP surprisingly seeing the least with just 13. The corner that caused the most issues was a left-handed hairpin that is turn 1 as riders get on the brakes, heading up an elevation of 40 metres at the end of the start-finish straight. So let's take a look at some of the biggest. First up from the Moto2 race at the troublesome first corner is Tagaki Nakagami on the end of a rather aggressive overtake from Simone Corsi. The Italian coming in way too hot and using Nakagami's bike as a brake effectively, with the unfortunate Japanese rider completely taken out through no fault of his own while battling for the final podium spot. Luckily, Nakagami was able to remount, finishing in 15th and scoring one championship point while Corsi received an official warning from race direction. Now a huge moment for the MotoGP race. Danny Pedrosa comes in way too hot into turn 1, loses control of his Honda, which turns into torpedo, taking out the luckless Dovizioso. As you can see, Pedrosa immediately went to check on the Italian mid-fall, and on the onboard you can see just how he lost control of the bike under braking, and there's simply nothing he can do as his RC213 turned into a bowling ball, effectively collecting Dovi in the process. Luckily the Italian was unhurt, although understandably gutted. Now for a real rarity as we ride on board with Valentino Rossi on lap 3 through turn 2. The Doctor losing the front without warning to register his first crash of 2016 and going on a ride through the gravel. You can see from Pedrosa's rear-facing camera the front wheel loses grip, causing Rossi to crash out of a race for the first time since Aragon in 2014. Up next is another strange one as Jorge Lorenzo lost the front at turn 4 during warm-up. The Spaniard saying afterwards he wasn't sure exactly what happened, but you can see on the replay how valiantly he tried to save it, pushing the bike up, if you look here, with his left knee a number of times, but to no avail. Lorenzo taking a nasty tumble through the gravel. Luckily he recovered in time to finish second during the race. One for the Moto3 race now as Niccolo Antonelli loses the front at turn 5, and just watch how lucky Enea Bastianini is not to be taken out by the bike spinning across the track. Antonelli had fought his way from 30th on the grid to be battling for the last podium spot, only for all of his hard work to be undone, meaning he scored 0 points, although he walked away unhurt. Moto2 FP3 time now, and another man who recorded his first crash of the season as reigning champion Johan Zarco lost the front at turn 13, weirdly enough, when he didn't even seem to be really pushing. You can see from the onboard it just goes away from him, but the bike wasn't badly damaged and he went on to pick himself up to finish third in the race. Now onto a nasty high side that would eventually end Jack Miller's participation in the weekend, and it came early on Friday at FP1, the Australian losing the rear, being thrown from his bike and fracturing the 5th metatarsal in his right foot. Despite already nursing a broken right ankle, the Australian bravely tried to ride on in the following sessions but was forced to withdraw after FP3 due to the pain. Finally then, the man who went on to win the race by over 6 seconds, Marc Marquez, had this tumble at FP2 on the final corner. Spaniard just pushing that bit too hard while on a hot lap and losing the front under braking, although he would end up pushing the bike back to the garage, only to go even quicker with his second bike and still top the session. And that is your crash analysis from the Americas GP. Up next, it's the Spanish GP in Jerez on the 24th of April.